crafters. Welcome into Guys Craft 2. My name is John, and I hope you are having an amazing weekend. And unfortunately, it is slipping away fast, right? It's just kind of crazy. It's like, wow, where did the weekend go? I um, I spent most of the morning dealing with technology, and technology is not my friend. And so did not get nearly as much accomplished this weekend as I had hoped, but such is life, right? So we'll see. So thanks for being here. Thanks to all the new subscribers. Welcome in. I hope you are enjoying what I'm doing, what I'm working on. I've got some things to share. This live will be just me. So I've had several guests on in the past, and so anxious to kind of catch up because I feel like, especially the last live or the last two, that I haven't even really got to pay attention to the chat. And Lord knows we have a lot of chatters and a lot of things going on. So Balloonist in Tucson is here. So welcome in. She was first in the chat today. Joydy, welcome in. Thanks for being here. In fact, we are planning to go to Tucson. It's like November 11th is the quilt show down in the Tucson area. So we will be down there, my partner and I. Must be around, it's either the 8th or the 15th. But I just got a notice the other day in my email, and I'm probably not going to be able to find it while I'm sitting here chatting and got other things going on. But I'll actually post that on my website as well, guyscraft2.com, because I do try to post upcoming shows and different things and plans for where we'll be. So I had actually looked at even getting a room and going down maybe Friday night after work. Still not sure if that's what we'll do. If we'll go down Friday night, spend the night, and just make a day of it Saturday, or just get up early Saturday morning, drive down, do our thing, and come home. But we'll see. Probably also depends on if the University of Arizona has a football game in town that weekend. Because if they do, then yeah, we're not spending that type of money, I can assure you. So, anyways, so I've got that coming up. I will get that updated on the website. So if any of you are in the Arizona area and looking for a quilt show or somewhere to go, there's a opportunity for you coming up right before the holidays and that. And the last thing I absolutely need is to go to a quilt show and spend money. But I doubt we'll spend a lot of money, but it's I just haven't really been to a quilt show for since QuiltCon. So really kind of looking forward to going and seeing what some other folks are working on. Hey, Mama Jan, thanks for being on with us this afternoon. Miss Jean, welcome in. Hey, Katrina, thanks for being here. Hey, Julie. She says, hi, John and friends. Thanks for coming in this afternoon. Becky, thanks for joining us. There's Miss Nikki. She says, good evening, everyone. You know, it's kind of crazy. And the time change is killing me, guys. I was in Hawaii last week. And so I had to go for work. And I know that sounds crazy, but yeah, I'm just not so much a traveler anymore. And I'm very content at home. I have a good life. I have a great partner, and just enjoy myself here. I don't have to travel and do crazy stuff. But that said, I went to Hawaii. It was nice enough. I was in Kauai, stayed at the Hyatt Resort, which was absolutely beautiful. It should be, because it was $500+ a night for our for the hotel room, and that was with this big negotiated conference rate. But then on top of it, I mean, like everything, I got a what did I get? A turkey roll up, right? A turkey roll up sandwich, a bag of chips, and that only had Pepsi products. And sorry, guys, I can't stand Pepsi. I was just raised in the South. It has to be Coke. Um, and it was like $35, and it just didn't get better from there. And finally, after the second day, I thought, you know what? I'm not doing this. I'll do Grubhub, Uber Eats, somebody. Nobody delivers to the resort on that side of the island, so they have you locked down. So it is what it is. I did have a per diem, so hopefully that covered the expense. Because let me tell you, I went down for breakfast, and the breakfast buffet was $55. I am not spending $55 on a breakfast buffet. I'm not a McDonald's fan, but I'll find a McDonald's before I spend that kind of money. Just crazy. Hey, Russ, welcome in. Thanks for being here. He's had a busy weekend with the girls in town. How cool is that? Mama Jan says she loves my shirt. Thank you. We have lots of Halloween shirts to share during the month of October. And guys, can you believe it's October 5th? We're already 5 days into October. I did get the house flipped this weekend, so we did get the Halloween decorations up. I did not do trees this year just because we are in such a flux and transition. I'm trying to get the design studio and all that finalized so we can get the camera set up and blah, blah, blah. But we still have the cam lights and all that. So that's why I'm still in the Ode studio. Probably will be for a few weeks because it's just now getting cool enough where the attic is starting to drop temperature some where they can get up in there and put the cam lights in. So I've got like 16 of those that need to go in because I like it bright. And we need to set up the new cameras, the new microphones, all that kind of stuff. But it's getting there and it's looking pretty good. So I'm excited. I think you all will like it. And I think it'll bring a big addition to the channel. Hey, Barb, thanks. She says she likes the shirt as well. Thank you. I like being festive. Jody says she missed us. Thank you, Miss Jody. Yeah, I forgot last week was just the recording. I forgot I was on a flight, supposedly still getting there. So that was kind of crazy. Trina says, I'm paying for the lack of sleep due to the wreck behind the house at midnight last night. The one driver had a one-word vocabulary, starts with F and rhymes with truck. For over an hour, he let them rip. I mean, it's just, yeah. I tell you what, I live in a retirement community. I enjoy my little retirement community, and we have way more commotion here than I ever thought. Literally, catty corner to me across the street. I came home one day and had 25, 30 county sheriffs here with drones and a SWAT team and all kinds of craziness because apparently a few houses down committed suicide and they found the neighbor next door dead as well. And I'm like, guys, I mean, like, this is supposed to be our little piece of paradise. It's supposed to be Shangri-La. It's supposed to be blah, blah, blah. And to literally have it catty corner from your house is just spooky. Irish lady says, good morning, good evening, all live chat, working on her long arm while she listens. That's awesome. My long arm has not run for 2 weeks. I keep reminding my partner of that, but at the same time, it's nice when it doesn't run because that means I don't have squaring up to do and binding because I still hate binding. I'll get there eventually. Oh, Balloona says it's the Quilt Craft and Sewing Festival, November 6th through the 8th. It's not a quilt show. All right. So we still may go down. I have to figure out what we're going to do. But I was really looking forward to that. Jody says, love your shirt. Thank you. I like being festival. And, I watched Ian today. I did catch Ian. That was about the only live I caught today and only caught about 40 minutes of his. And of course, he's Disney all the time. That man, I tell you what, Disney's made a fortune off that guy. But of course, he was all festive. And then I have yet to see catch up with Danielle, but I am sure Danielle is all decked out now for Halloween. She always is. So how cool is that? Hey, Zaza, welcome. Zaza Lita is in the house. Thanks for being here. Hey, Mr. Carl, he's back, I'm hoping, from Houston. I saw Stephanie was there, and Stephanie got a new pattern picked up by Bernitex, which is just awesome. And they're actually going to kit up her pattern. So how cool is that? So Stephanie Stitches, if you haven't gone over to watch her channel or seen her for a while, jump over there. Her Facebook page has posted a copy of the new pattern in that. And how cool is that? Hey, Landa, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining in. See, who else? Zaza says you were sunning yourself in Hawaii. I tell you what, I was not all that impressed with it, to be honest. Number one, it's not fun to go for a work trip and be by yourself. So that made it different to begin with. But they were talking about how unseasonably warm their summer has been. So it's in the upper 80s, 88, 89, which I just kind of giggle, right? Because I'm used to 118. I was dying for like 2 days because all the hotels are wide open, right? So it's because you're on the island and you're supposed to have this wonderful breeze blow in and blah, blah, blah. No, they have the worst humidity I've had in years. I have very much acclimated to the Phoenix area. I like dry heat. They, no air conditioning, right? You had to go to your room or the meeting room or somewhere to get into some air conditioning because they don't air condition the lobbies and all that. And I was like, guys, this is just miserable. It was just absolutely crazy. So no, I was not overly impressed. I mean, am not anxious to run back there. Luna says the Tucson Guild Quilt Show is in January, so we may or may not make that. We still plan to go to um, Road to California in January. So between the retreat that's going to run for us New Year's Eve to what, January 2nd, January 3rd, and then 2 weekends after that, we've got Road to California. So January is already becoming a really, really busy month, but we'll see. But I would like to get down and spend a little time in Tucson. I just have not done that. And I need to explore and appreciate the states that I'm in, right? Um, Hey, Linda. Thanks for joining this afternoon. Thanks for being here. Yes, she's also says the humidity would be a killer for you. I was just amazed. It's funny how you just forget things. And I just completely forgot about it. Trina says humidity's been horrible since the two hurricanes went out to sea. I was just shocked. I was just like, man, I had no idea. Because again, I guess you watch Hawaii. I always watched Hawaii Five O. Love Hawaii Five O, and then I'm on Kauai, which really doesn't have hardly anything other than the resort. And then back by the airport, they do have like a Safeway and a Panda Express and some stuff, but that's 30 minutes back the other direction. I didn't rent a car because it didn't make sense. I think there's a coffee plantation that you can go tour, but beyond that, there just wasn't that much. I don't play golf. I used to years ago, but I don't have time to play golf because it's all I can do to keep up with the habit of buying fabric. And then I like to try to quilt and sew occasionally too. But let's be honest, buying fabric takes priority over everything. Mm. So, what have I been up to? So a couple of things. So I don't know if I had shown you or not, but my partner's been running the 3D printer. So we've been making these little aluminar um, bags. I don't know what to call them, right? But they're really just a nice size, but we're filling them up with Hershey Kisses. And so I'm giving those out to my team at work. So he made the ghost. He made pumpkins for me. And because they were meant to be aluminars, right, and have tea lights in them, this it does really the lights, and it's got two faces, which is kind of cool for the pumpkin. And then my favorite is Frankie. How cool is that? So I think the adults that I supposedly work with will enjoy having chocolate, right? Hershey Kisses. So you can't ever go wrong with that. And then just something a little cute for the upcoming um, event, right? For Halloween. So I do enjoy Halloween. I do like having that. Joy says, no quilt shop hopping in Hawaii. There was not, because right, I flew into Kauai and flew right out. So they just didn't have that island is just much more isolated than I ever anticipated. Plus, to make it worse, it's a 3 hour time change, and apparently American decides you can only fly back at night. So I was on a 6.5 hour flight going. They don't feed you if you're in coach. They'll let you buy a turkey sandwich if if you choose to do so. So I told the flight attendant I wanted a turkey sandwich, and she goes, "Well, so does everybody on the plane. I think we might be out." And I'm like, "Really?" So I'm getting attitude because you all don't feed us. You put us on a 6.5 hour flight. You gave me cookies and a half a can of Coke, and then I tell you I'm going to spend the money to buy a sandwich on the flight. So she did come back. They did have more, but it ended up being half of a turkey roll with like 4 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons of a corn salad, which was actually really good. the sample they gave me was. So it would have been nice to have really the salad and some churro cookie. And that's all I got for like 8 hours, right? Because I'm already stuck at the airport an hour and a half, 2 hours before the flight. Afterwards, getting bags and all that. It was like, oh my gosh, guys, it's just crazy. So I did learn my lesson. I will never fly American to Hawaii again. I ended up taking the because again they only have red eyes coming back to the mainland. I flew out. I think it was 9:40 and landed in Phoenix around 7 a.m. I think I slept maybe an hour total. It was just miserable, and I'm like, no, I'm way too old to do that again. So, and I Googled, and Hawaiian Air actually feeds you whether you're in coach first or where you're at. So, yeah, that answers that question from now on. Trina says, I've been working on Finding Your Way Home quilt by Free Spirit. Top two quadrants are done, hoping to get the bottom of the two quadrants done tomorrow. Look, she's been busy knocking out stuff. Oh, Zaza said, did we design? We did not design those. We got those off Maker World, which is part of Bamboo Labs site. So no, we found them. I actually went through and found several things for Halloween that I wanted. I found some sewing things I wanted. I found some Christmas stuff I wanted. So, and then we've actually been actually had several orders. So I found a really cute kitten ghost, and I made that for my niece and sent it to her. She was really excited. She got it last week. And after that, I think we've sold 6 or 8 of those along with some of these. And so, and we're not even promoting them. They're not on the Etsy store or anything like that. But it's just friends and that around here that like them. All right. So what else did I get? Yes, I agree. Zaza says American Airlines is terrible in coach. And I paid the upgrade, which I shouldn't have done to fly first class home, but I knew I would be so miserable in coach coming back, especially that late at night, that I paid the upgrade fee because I didn't trust, even with my status, that I had enough that I would get upgraded. So I paid for it so I could fly home first class, and I was still miserable. So it's just crazy. What else did I? Oh, so can you believe it's time for a holiday quilting bee? So it's like November 11th is Veterans Day, guys. Where is the year going? This is going way too fast. So yes, November 11th is Veterans Day. We will be doing a holiday quilting bee. It will run from 7 to 10. Arizona time. That happens to be a holiday that I get at my company. So I don't get every federal holiday and all that kind of stuff. So I do what holidays make sense to my business in that. So I will be doing and posting a design, all that for the holiday quilting bee. We will be giving gifts away and that kind of stuff for that as well. And so we'll see. So plan on watching that and plan on participating. And hopefully, we'll have some cool gifts to give away for that as well. Linda says, I love the Frankenstein. I do too. It's just right. It just really pops. What's interesting is the one I found was the ghost. And that's what I really wanted. But I will tell you, it takes a lot of Hershey Kisses to fill these up. But I really thought the ghost was the neat. But then I decided I wanted the variety. So I had no idea how adorable Frankenstein is. So he really turned out, he's really to me is the cutest of the three of them. The least favorite of mine is the pumpkin. Um, but again, I wanted the team to have some variety. So that's what we did. Hey, Katie, thanks for being here. I just read your update. So glad you're home. I hope you are feeling better. I hope you've got your feet up and just relaxing. We miss seeing you. We miss having you uh, give us updates on what's going on and all the things because you always seem to have a lot going on too. And you're always so busy on the channel, so it's just really weird not to see you out there so much. But I am glad you're home from the hospital, and hopefully things will keep improving, and you're not going to have to go to get the scans and that in the next city over. What else did I get done? Oh, so anyways, talking about the holiday quilting bee made me realize, I need to finish the last holiday quilting bee, and I did. So, as you know, I did not follow the pattern exactly like I should have done because I ended up doing um, da 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 da. I ended up some of my I thought, I'd lost some of the fabric. I didn't cut enough fabric, and I found the fabric, whatever. So mine ended up being a lot more scrappy put together, which is fine. I also did the rickrack for the leaves because I was not following and doing the work that the pattern required. So I ended up using rickrack, but wow, this is not just going to open and show it, is it? The rickrack. And so I think it worked out really well. I'm anxious to see how the long arm likes the rick rack because you've already got enough seams and places joined together, and then now I've got this heavy rick rack on there. But it is what it is, and I don't do the long arm, so you know what? It's somebody else's problem. All right, so it is finally done. This quilt is huge, guys. I'm telling you, it's a lot bigger than I anticipated, but that's okay. I think it did turn out well. I am very excited about it and happy with it. What I don't know that I would ever do this pattern again. It is very different, but I do think it pops, and I think it really does kind of just scream fall, right? With the orange and the rust and the purples and all the different colors. So I really did. The fabrics that I used out of this was out of a fat quarter pack, and I do think the fat quarters just really this particular bundle really just called for a quilt like this. So really happy with it. But I did get my quilt top done finally from Labor Day. And so we still have the quilting and that to do. I need to figure out what backing I'm going to put on it. I've got tons of 108. I've bought so much lately. So we'll end up doing that. And that will get added to my partner's pile for long arming. So again, what have I been working on today? Um, so I ended up putting, so we had to go to storage to get some of the Halloween stuff, like the Halloween wreath, because I've got to change rugs, I got to change the wreaths, I got to change the flag out front, did all that kind of stuff. I bought a couple of inflatables, so he put the inflatables up for us and got those going. I did program our permanent lights out front to a Halloween theme, so they're orange and purple in that. So those come on every night now and stay on till like 10 o'clock. Thank God they're LED because by the time I light up this month and then turn around and light up, um, I don't even know what will light up in November and then starting around Thanksgiving. I typically turn my Christmas lights on Thanksgiving weekend. I just don't do it sooner. We end up usually decorating the entire month of December because it just takes so much. But again, I'm not sure what we're going to get to be able to do this year. I did not put up my Halloween trees and all that stuff. I've got big witches that I love that go around the cauldron and all that. I didn't get that done, but then I realized I couldn't find the bedspread because I hate comforters. I couldn't find the bedspread. I have a Halloween bedspread and blah, 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 and could not find it anywhere. So I assumed it was lost. It's gone for good. Um, Later, he tells me, oh, yeah, I found that at the storage. I didn't know you wanted it, whatever. So I kept the bedspread that I had on the bed, which is just a neutral khaki, and then realized, but if I do that, because the pillows are exposed, I need to make um, pillowcases again. So I put the fall pillowcases away. I found this fabric, which I think is just so perfect. And then this fabric is spider. So you got the big spider, you got the orange with the spider webs and the spider, and then you've got this with more spiders than that. So I think these turned out really cute. So I did a set of these. And then, of course, I like to have a mixed matched set. So I did two of these as well. And I just love this purple. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this purple glows in the dark. And then I added the bats to it. And so I think together, this turned out really well and cute. two. So we will have those on the bed now, and that's the bedroom Halloween decoration um, till we get ready for Christmas. So, and then I'll probably go back to fall. Once Halloween's over, I'm done. November 1st, I'm done with Halloween, and I like to get it put away. But I love getting it out, love having it there. But I will get it put away 1st of November and probably switch back to um, the fall for a couple of weeks until I'm ready to get the Christmas out. But I did find multiple Christmas bedspreads. The sad thing is, I need to make quilts, right? I need a quilt for Halloween. I need a quilt for Christmas. I need to be putting my quilts on the beds, and I just have not gotten there, especially because our bed is a king, and I tend to do about a queen size is really about the biggest quilt I typically make. So we'll see. What else? All right, let me catch back up. Hey, Brian, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Um, Delia's here. Thanks for being here. I've got to get my glasses on. This is too small for me to read. I end up having to buy a monitor like Ian just got. Ian and Becca. Who else is here? Delia's here. Thanks for joining. Hey, John. Thanks for joining this afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. Who else? Oh, Katrina says, I don't know if Mike's going to want to do the Thanksgiving tree this year. We'll see. We got rid of the big Christmas tree. I guess I need to buy one. Unfortunately, I have like 15 Christmas trees. So I have a mid century one. I have a couple 7.5 feet trees. I have one that rotates. I have a true mid century silver foil tree. I have a Grinch tree that is truly lime green and all bent over in that. I have a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. I just and I doubt that we're going to drag much of that out this year, just because I've got to get this. I've got to get the house just put back together. Apparently, my son has decided he's coming for the holidays this year. So him and his girl will be coming either for Thanksgiving or Christmas. They haven't said which one yet, but they're anticipating that there's going to be a spare bedroom this time. So we'll see. At this point, this room, this is about all that's left in this room is this studio piece uh, in the what is going to become the spare bedroom. Still has all the office stuff, which needs to come in here. And then I need, like I said, we need to finish up in the new design studio. So we'll see when we get all that put together. It's just kind of crazy. O'Brien says he's now retired and adopted a new dog. My daughter just got a golden doodle, and it is absolutely the most precious thing. She has sent me so many pictures and videos. I absolutely do not want a dog. Like Brian, maybe when I retire, I might get that companion again. But working full time and having to be on the other side of Phoenix 3 days a week, it's just not fair to the dog. It would have to literally go 9, 10 hours during the day, and that's not fair to any living being. So if we end up with dogs, it will be after I retire. And the problem is here, it's so hot in the summertime, you got to put hoodies on them to take them out or to burn the pads of their feet and that. And I'm not sure I really want to deal with that either. So we'll see. Um, Brian says she's a hound mixed. I adopted her from the Humane Society. That is awesome. We had a Heinz 57 growing up. My mother named her Troubles because she knew it would be nothing but trouble having the dog. And my neighbor thought that was so cute. When they got their dog, she named it Regret because she knew they would regret getting a dog. So, or two dogs in the neighborhood, Troubles and Regret. Troubles actually lived to be like 23 years old. It was a true, just kind of beagle mix hound dog, but that dog was just tough as nails and was just such a good dog. Landa says, time to take care of the pooch. Have a good weekend, Landa. Thanks for being here. Um, who else? Zaza says dog crocs, right? Oh, it's too funny. What else do I have? Oh, I am working, and I think I may be actually able to sew and talk tonight. I am finally getting on the wreath. So far, I've put together one piece, which is the first row. So I would like to get a few of these knocked out tonight. So we will see how that goes. But I've got those I'm working on. I got the other two pillowcases I need to finish out. I do need to pick the pattern for the holiday quilting bee, so we'll have that as well. And then start thinking about prizes and all that kind of stuff. I did get the website updated today to put out the 2026 schedule for our retreats that we'll be hosting and make all that stuff work. So that is up and live finally because it has been a pain. Was having security issues on the on the on our Etsy store and that. So I spent half the morning working on that with tech issues, but I think we finally got that resolved. So we'll see. Well, I am hoping Mr. Carl shares some of stories and pictures from Houston. I would love to go there next year if I save my pennies because I am sure I already spent a fortune at QuiltCon, and I know there especially I would spend way too much money. But how cool is that he got to go and be with Stephanie and all of them? They always seem to have a good time together. And now I know Stephanie's got a cruise coming up. She's going with Russ. So how cool is that? I tell you what, that's one lady that definitely stays busy. She doesn't let any moss grow under her feet. Just fine, right? Because I tell you what, life is too short. Realizing how quick my brother got sick and got down and done with hearing nowadays. So you better not take anything for granted and you better enjoy life while you can. All right, I guess I should be chain piecing these, and I guess I will do that starting now. Didn't think about it because it's not what I'm used to. Let's see if we get this one going. Plus, I'm not used to sewing these small pieces. These small pieces drive me nuts. And I actually thought about trying to modify this pattern. And I thought, you know what? The reason you pick and buy patterns is because you like the pattern. So to go through and start saying, well, let me modify it this way, modify it that way, doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I chose not to. So I am doing it as I am supposed to do it. We'll see how that works out. I do have my dental appointment tomorrow. I get to go have my teeth cleaned. So I am pretty fortunate actually, because the company I work for, we actually get 3 cleanings a year. So I get to go every 4 months versus every 6 months, which does make a difference. Um, and I have very little trouble. I'm very blessed. They have pretty strong, healthy teeth. Not to say I took the best care of them, but um, I typically have very little problem anymore with cavities or any of that craziness. So that makes the visits going in much easier and better to deal with. So, all right. Who is on? Oh, there's Sally. Hey, Sally, welcome in. Thanks for being here. We talked about Road to California just a little bit ago. So I actually made new room reservations in that. So we'll see how that goes. Sally says, I have a pencil tree that stays on my porch all year, and I decorate that for each and every holiday, getting Halloween already. And now my water heater went out. Oh my gosh, no. I tell you what, anything anymore is so expensive. It's like water heater used to be a few $100s in that. And of course, now they want you to put in a on demand and that, which I had at the last house, and we never had any issues. But we were only in that house for a couple of years, and it was funny because people were like, "Well, that has to be cleaned every 6 months, and it's got to be this, and it's got to be that." It's there is some maintenance with those, and I'm like, "Yeah, maintenance is not something I need." So here, I still have the old standard gas or electric water heater. So and knock wood, it's working, functioning well. Let's hope it stays that way for a while because I just had to buy washer and dryer about a year ago because my old washer literally blew up. And tell you what, appliances and stuff have just gotten so expensive. Everything is so exorbitant anymore, it seems like. And, you know, who wants to be bothered with that? Because I want to buy quilt fabric. I mean, I don't have time to be spending money on frivolous stuff like hot water. I mean, like, come on, guys. Am I crazy? Oh, Katrina says I've had one outside. I never know what kind of. Oh my goodness, she must live somewhat in the country. So I find lizards and she finds lizards on her back porch all the time. We have one in South Carolina. It was funny because growing up in Kentucky, we never had the little creepy crawlies like that. We just had bad spiders and that. And the kids were so excited when we moved to South Carolina because we had this little lizard that always seemed to be around, and we called it Lizzie. And it was funny. I mean, Lizzie lived with us from the time we moved there until a few years later we sold the house, and the kids were very happy with that. So it was kind of cool. So um, just kind of crazy. What else? Jody says, "Yep, right. If you're like me, you get restless because you feel like your body needs to relax." I get that. Lord have mercy. Oh, look at Brian. Brian's got a new machine too. Said he just cleaned and vacuumed out his machine, got it all ready to go, and told it better buckle up. I think he's been stacking up some of the projects too. So I think Brian has several projects to work on. So how cool is that? I have enough stacked up that I wouldn't have to buy anything for the next 20 years, but that's okay. We still continue to buy projects. I've sent one to Russ the other day that popped up in Fat Quarter Shop, not Fat Quarter Shop, Fort Worth Fabrics. And I was like, man, I really, really like this, but I just don't need it. Absolutely don't need another one. And then the pattern was really cute, but some of those, like when you look at it, it's like, okay, if I have to pick all the fabric to do that, I might as well just buy the kit. And then Russ, being Russ, said, "Oh, you do realize that's not coming out till October of 26, right?" So then I felt a little less guilty. and I went in and ordered it. So I do have that one coming, but I really am trying to swear off all quilt kits and that because it's just been just too many to, and I need to catch up on my own stuff and not um, do that. In fact, we're trying to build out some quilt kits for like Villa Rosa designs and that. So we have done 3 yard quilt kits, and we've got those ready to go. They've actually been doing pretty well on the Etsy store. And then we decided the other day we probably need to build out some Villa Rosa uh, because Villa Rosa's got some really cute patterns, especially seasonal and around the holidays. Oh, and speaking of, we have not done giveaways or nothing forever. So I did want to take a look at that um, tonight. And I hope you all enjoyed having Cole and Tasha and Shannon and all the different ones on the channel. It is really fun to invite other creators in, to be able to share what they're working on, get their thoughts about what I'm working on. Because I have a hard time getting to our quilt club, right? Because I can only go on Saturdays, so I don't get to go that often. We do have a club meeting this Saturday is the Go Gang, which is our AccuQuilt group. So Mama Jan definitely wants me there. I will probably try to go down and make an appearance at least. Problem is for me, by the time I pack it all up to go down to get it there, and then I end up socializing the whole time, and I don't get anything done. It's just too hard because I've only got the 2 days, so I'm competing with women that can sew 24/7, and I've just got limited time, and so it's hard for me to give up a day just to be social because I do tend to be kind of a little socialite. I do enjoy talking and getting to see people and meet everyone. So I don't know, just kind of crazy. So we'll see. Oh, but to say all that, you go over and open Nightbot because I am still using Nightbot. And let me see if we can do random keyword. Your moderators, channel members, and let's do what's this one? Oh yeah, trying to find some simple words, right? All right, so let's go back in the chat. Hey, Nikki, thanks for being here. She said she retired last December. Her dogs will be upset if I have to go back to work. They love me being home. Oh, I bet. And what I feel bad is for all the folks that ran and got animals during COVID and then had to go back to work, and all of a sudden our shelters become ran over because all of a sudden people didn't want the dogs anymore, and because they had other things that they could do, and that's sad. That's not that dog's fault. Um, but we treat them as disposable, which unfortunately mine is not. We spoiled ours rotten. Mm. Hey Jen, good evening. Thanks for being here. Oh my God, Sally. She says $2,700 for a water heater. 36 years old, so it was time. But my guy got it working till then. I just $2,700. I would just die right now. I just don't need one more expense, and I'm sure you didn't either. But and I tell you what, the one thing I cannot do is take a cold shower, so I would end up at the rec center every day for a while until I could get it fixed. Nikki says we had a new toilet and guest bath, $500. I mean, guys, it's just crazy. We have so interesting enough when Del Webb built these homes, they actually were somewhat of a spec home. And so as they built the different homes, and again, they have like 15, 20 floor models. So it's not like your new subdivision where they're all cookie cutter and they're all exactly the same and they repeat every third home. Del Webb did have a bigger variety than that. I am in the Berkeley is the name of my house, and my Berkeley is actually a 3 bedroom because the neighbor across the street is in a similar home. Hers is called the Berkeley, but she doesn't have the front porch that I do, and she only has two bedrooms. So they did build some variety. But, anyways, our toilets are made to mount flush on the wall so they don't go in the floor, which I like because it's really nice to be able to get the Roomba up under there and that, and I can clean the whole floor. But we needed to replace ours since they had been here since 1978, and it was, I think it was $1,600. It was 800 a piece for those toilets because, again, they're very specialized toilets. Brian says, I bought a new washer and dryer when I bought the house 15 years ago, and I've already had to replace the dryer. Appliances just don't last like they used to. This house came with a side by side refrigerator, which is what I like. I don't understand the French door and a drawer for my freezer. So I was really happy that it had a new side by side refrigerator, but because the ice maker's in the door and not in the freezer compartment, it stays frozen as one big hunk of ice half the time. It frustrates me. I would love to get a new one, but it's not worth it, just for that. Nikki says yes, and the labor will be high too. Oh yeah, the labor's usually more than anything. It's just, oh my gosh, guys. Green says Jacksonville's full of lizards. One dumb green snake crawled on top of the AC unit. I kept hearing ting 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 ting. He dropped his tail, and then the fan did him in. The neighbor came and removed it. Oh, you sound like me, girl. It's we moved to South Carolina, and half of our backyard was backyard. It was all privacy fenced as far back as you could see. We had almost an acre, but it had privacy fence everywhere. But literally half of our yard was forested pines. And in South Carolina, the pines only get this big, right? But we had like 1,000 of them, but a lot of pine needles and all that. But we just didn't go back to that part of the yard. It was just too much, right? It was literally more of a forest. But every now and then the kids would go in the yard and come running in the house to let daddy know there was a snake in the yard. And I had to teach the kids really quick. So, what happens when you're in the yard and you find a snake? And they would all nod their head. We go next door and get Mr. Mike. I said, yes, we go get Mr. Mike. Mr. Mike comes and gets the snakes for us. Because, growing up in Kentucky and that, we didn't have snakes like that. I didn't know what we would be dealing with, whether it was poisonous, all that kind of nonsense. And Mike didn't care to come take care of it for us. So he always came over and cut the head off or did whatever. And life went on for us. But that was certainly an experience and something new for me, and not anything I had anticipated in buying that house in South Carolina. What else? Oh, that Diablo says, just curious, what area are you in? I am in North Phoenix. So I am out in the North Phoenix area, out around Arrowhead and all of that, the Surprise area. So we have been out here, Lord, 3 years, going on 4 years. It's just hard to believe how quick time has flown. But absolutely love it out here. Every now and then I think about, man, I'd love to go East Coast again, and wouldn't mind like actually going back to South Carolina, moving down to be next to my buddy Carl in Florida. Some of those, but to be closer to the grandkids, where we could get to the grandkids more often. But I'll be honest, I just don't know that I'm willing to give up Arizona for that. As much as I'd like to be with the grandkids, I just don't know. I can tell you, little Ava Lynn would love it. She wants to quilt and sew and do things, and she's getting to that age, right? She'll be 8 next month in November. It's just hard to believe she'll be 8, and so she was born in November, and I moved in December. So I have been in the Phoenix area now for 8 years, and I just love it. There was just something when I got here that said Phoenix was home. It just felt like home to me. I never felt that way anywhere in the Southeast, although I am very Southern, and I am a Southern boy at heart. But I do love, I do love Phoenix. I just love this whole state. And I need to do more exploring. I've been up to Prescott. I've been over to um, um, Payson and all of that area. Haven't been to the Grand Canyon yet. I do want to get there. I've been to Sedona several times. Been down to Bisbee, which I think is just awesome. I love Bisbee. But it's a stretch to get down there. And like I said, I've only been to Tucson once. I need to get to Tucson and spend some time down there as well. Def Diablo says East Valley. Yep. Very familiar with East Valley. I work out of Tempe, so I am in Tempe several days a week. So pretty much know the valley. I moved to South Mountain when I first came here, and then ended up out up in North Phoenix. But I just love it. Well, Sally says they helped. Boyfriend generously helped me at the cost. I'm fortunate he's a good man. You are very, very fortunate because let me tell you, they're hard to find, Sally. But you already knew that. Yeah, I think that's what's interesting too. Katrina says, I think it's too far, but you think about how big Jacksonville is, it's a big trip to go across town. That's what people don't understand about Phoenix. It's literally to go from across Maricopa County and all that. You're talking an hour and 40 minutes, hour and 50 minutes, up to 2 hours with traffic. And I used to have people from Texas or corporate office and that say, hey, we saw that this is in Phoenix. Would you mind running there to get that? I'm like, you do realize that's the other side of Phoenix. It's not like it's just down the street. They thought everything was down the street. And Phoenix is very sprawled and spread out. So it's a lot different. Oh, Death Diablo says I bake and need the double door fridge for big bakes. Oh, I can imagine. We should see pictures. You should drop something on Facebook page sometime. If you're not a member, you should join. Um, Katrina says, I bought a new washer and dryer 7 years ago. Had a new washer and dryer. They arrived Thursday. I've been waiting 8 months. And they're expensive. So my washer and dryer was probably 6 years old, 7 years old when the washer blew up. So I just replaced both. And then it was still coming out of COVID, basically. It happened like 2 years ago. And so I'm Googling, researching, trying to figure out like which one I want. And guys, it's killing me because like they're all they're all on back order. It's like, well, you can't get that one for 6 weeks. Well, that one's 3 months. And I'm like, I have dirty laundry now. And I hate to tell you, I'm not going to the laundromat. I ended up getting a Samsung, and I have to say, I've actually been very, very pleased with it. I have an LG stove and range that I bought because it's got the double oven that I wanted, and I'm not as happy with it. I don't think it holds temperature as well in that. It's fine, but so I kind of had you know, I'm a GE, Hot Point, Kenmore, all that, and of course, all those things are gone. I mean, you don't find those brands anymore. Um, it is what it is. Hey, I do want to give a giveaway. I do not have the pattern selected. I will have. I will work on that this week, and hopefully get some patterns in so we can start doing some giveaways for the holiday quilting bee. But I did pull out a table runner. This is, of course, it's a Villa Rosa design. It's by Trisha Lynn Maloney of Orphan Quilt Designs. It measures 16 inches by 60. It is called Pumpkin Spice. It is it's actually a 2024 design. I actually thought it was a little bit older than that. So it is one of their newer table runners, but I just thought it was really cute. We're still in fall, even though it's Halloween time. But I just thought it would be fun to do something. Let me go over and click on the button. If you go into the chat and hit exclamation point spice, SPICE, and that will get you entered. Please only enter once. And if you enter and win, no, you will need to send me an email with your name and address so I can mail those off. It does get a little frustrating to me sometimes when folks don't. They enter, they win, and then they don't send me an email. And it's like, guys, really? You didn't want the gift. Why did you enter? So anyways, I've got two of them. We'll do two drawings to give away the pumpkin spice I do think it's a cool looking table runner. It's a little different. And again, it's 16 by 60. So it is a nice size. I just thought it'd be fun because it feels like forever since we've been giving anything away. So that'll help get us prepped and ready for um, the holidays. Sally says Phoenix is huge. It is. How crazy is it? I had no idea. I'll be honest. I ended up moving here because I flew out to do the rock and roll half marathon. It was over Martin Luther King weekend. The weather could not have been any more exquisite. It was probably in the 70s that whole weekend. I didn't realize that sometimes it does get cold here in the wintertime, but it sucked me in right away. And literally 10 months later, I moved to Phoenix. Uh, my daughter was just devastated. She knew at some point I would end up in the ocean and I would end up probably in Florida. She had no idea that I would move across the country and by myself, right? Because at the time I was single, I didn't have anyone, I did not have any type of real relationship going on. I really just wanted a fresh start. And she related to that, but she had no idea that meant that I would go all the way across the country. And it's tough because I only get to be with them a couple of times a year, and it is what it is. So go in, hit exclamation point spice. Please only enter once because it doesn't. The algorithm gets cranky if you go in multiple times, but that will we will get that over to you. Mama Jan says pattern for table runner looks interesting, cute for sure. Yeah, I'm a Villa Rosa fan, guys. I can't help it. If you go out on the website and look at some of the retreats coming up, New Year's Eve retreat, we're going to do a Villa Rosa design. The fall retreat called Fall Frenzy next year in September. We're actually dedicating that whole retreat to Villa Rosa designs and things like that. So we'll see. I am not sponsored. I am not paid by any one of the folks I talk about. You know, I talk about AccuQuilt and that, and I love my AccuQuilt. I love my dies. I have bought each and every one of my dies. I won't say I paid full price because I watch for sales to get my dies. I watch to get, I'd love to have all the cubes. I don't have all of those yet. And I have bought some, I have bought some from folks here that are decided they don't want them anymore, or they're going into assisted living. They just don't have the room, things like that. But it's kind of cool. Um, Mama Jane says, "So glad you're here. Hugs to my boy." She came over and had dinner with us last night, which was always special. Hey Zaza, she says, I've started doing YouTube lives. Send me an email with your channel to make sure I have it. I will get that reference below. I will go out and promise to start looking at that. And I will get you in the Nightbot so you are able to post your channel next week. That is super exciting. Congrats. I know how hard it is to get started in that. I'm at 2,100 on my way to 2,200 viewers. It's very humbling when you think about that number. And it's also just mind boggling when I look at Tiffany and some of them that have done it 10 years and they've got 50,000, 70,000. Ian today, Ian had over 200 on his live. It's just amazing. And I'm one of those, right? Because I love watching Ian. I love watching Becca. I appreciate that she does Friday night. Just all kinds of craziness. All right, let's go through and do the drawing. I don't want time to get away from me. We're going to choose two winners. The first one is MS Quilter 24. So Miss Janet, if you will send me an email at John at guyscraft2.com, I will get that stuck in the mail for you this week. And our second winner is Death Diablo. Congrats. So if you will as well, and scrolling across the bottom should be my email address if you don't see it already. But John, John, at guyscraft2. So Janet and Death Diablo, if you will get that email over to me today, tomorrow, we will definitely get that out. Brian says Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, which actually works better for me because you all kill me, right? This time change. It's hard for me to jump on and get on some of the other channels. So, guys, we are at the top of the hour. I so appreciate that I was able to be with you all this afternoon to start getting into your all's evening. Next week, I have Sean, the guy who sews. Sean helped really get my channel started. I owe him a lot of paying it forward. He's a great guy, so I'm excited to have him on the channel next week. I will get that link and posting up soon. So I hope that you all have enjoyed catching up. I hope things have went well for you all this evening. I hope you have an amazing week ahead of you. And as always, until next time, happy crafting.